I'm Amber.
I'm Tony.
We are Tuned to the Moon. And this is part 2 of our versions of ourselves and healing episode, because we were starting, if you've not listened to part 1, I definitely recommend at least listening to the last half of that, because we were really starting to get into, Tony was talking a lot about having a mask on and all of these versions of you. The only way I can think of it is kind of like a volcano, just like underneath
waiting to erupt.
Waiting to erupt. And I thought, well, we kind of thought people might be able to relate to this and we can really dive a bit deeper into it.
Yeah, let's just go straight into it.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy as well, actually. I usually use like the iceberg.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like what you see above the surface.
What's actually going on.
But then what's actually all of that underneath.
Probably better than a volcano, but I am
No, the volcano erupts,
lava
though,
out my nut. It's my wee boy's favourite thing to watch on Disney Plus is that wee short film Lava.
I've not seen it.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous. It really is. I actually, you'll pass out of this. I used to cry at it.
Oh my goodness.
But it's a happy ending. It's only like 9 minutes long. Cute little song. And I kind of like, I used to sing it to him now and again, but we never put it on. And one day he was just like, I'm tired. So he doesn't really nap now much. We put stuff on the telly. So I said, let's sit. I'm going to put this on. You'll like it. Again. He just wants it all the time. It's really cute. It's a Disney short.
Right, okay.
But it's so, I always just think of volcanoes for everything now. So that's my analogy.
It is.
So yeah, you were talking about at the end of part 1 having your salon, really putting a mask on, and underneath it you were trying to prove yourself to people. You were like putting this face on. You were also self-sabotaging. You were thinking you could do it all, but realising when you went to do this kind of meditation and mindfulness course, you actually couldn't. It wasn't good for your mental health, and you were, as you said, broken.
Yeah, or that's how I felt I was anyway. And it's a lot of when people come to me for healings, that's the word they'll use, like, or they're scared of getting to that point where they break. But I actually do believe that sometimes we need to get to that place in order to be able to rebuild things. It's like the Tower card in tarot, like it's got to come crumbling down so that you can build it back up the way that it's actually meant to be.
And does that come in the form sometimes for people like of a breakdown?
Yeah.
Of illness?
Yeah, everything. Separation, loss, like death. It can be so many different ways.
Because I've definitely had those hit and burnouts, but it's not the same. Burnout is just me knowing that I've been silly and taken on too much. It's not quite the same as what you're describing.
The burnout stages is when's it going to get to that breaking point if you don't make changes. So the burnout phase is your kind of warning, if you like. It's your body trying to warn you that, we're nearly reaching that point of breaking. So, like, say, for example, this year, we're in 2026 now, aren't we? You repeated that same cycle again and allowed yourself to get to that place. Is it just going to be burnout, or are you going to break? Do you know what I mean?
Because it all comes from those different versions of ourselves that we're talking about. Remind us of what they kind of were.
So some of the main ones that I see anyway when I'm working with people, your survivor is the biggest. Your survivor is, especially our generation, the generations before us, I just need to get on with it. I'll do what I've got to do.
Putting a face on, totally. That was my grandpa. Stoic.
Yeah.
My grandpa was stoic to the core.
That's your survivor. That's the one that's like, well, it doesn't matter what's happened. Like, I've got to just keep going.
That was him. He lost a daughter. We lost his wife, which was obviously absolutely awful, but losing my auntie was just, it was awful.
Yeah.
And he publicly, in front of us, never shed a tear and was very stoic and was very matter of fact, and we need to get the funeral out of the way, and this is what's going to happen now, and this is what's happened. And that's so unhealthy.
Yeah, because how much of that grief and anger at the world and sadness is then suppressed within.
So sad.
And that just creates that survivor, which is essentially that wall that instantly comes up. That is, I will not be broken. Like, do you know what I mean? I won't even allow myself to get to that point, because I will just keep pushing through and I will keep going. But like I said, I'll go back to them all in a minute, but it's really important that you guys know that these versions are just trying to protect you. So like you said with Inside Out, if you think of it as Inside Out.
Disney film.
Rather than seeing it as emotions, which we will go into this episode because that is very, very important. But if you see Riley's...
my stomach just literally like tidal wave
rumbling away. If you see Riley's emotions as those different versions of her, the survivor, the saboteur, the victim, whatever, they're just trying to protect her from experiencing whatever it was that she experienced that caused that to come up in the first place.
It's really quite a powerful movie for kids, isn't it?
So powerful. Even adults. Like, if a lot of adults watched that film, they would understand how simple and important emotions actually are. So go watch it.
I've not seen the second one, by the way, have you?
Yeah, I have.
Is it good?
That's where fear and anxiety comes into it. That's a good one. Okay. That is a good one. Okay. So yeah, Survivor is like the protector as well, I suppose. Like, it's just that version that is going to come up to say, no, we're not doing this. And then when I'm doing healings, the whole point is trying to get people back into their heart. But around your heart is just all these different barriers. Like, if I'm saying to you to visualise what's around your heart, it might be like a cage and it's locked up, or it's padlocked, or there's guards standing at it, like not letting anybody in. Like, you just put these walls up.
My heart would be nutcrackers and tinsel. My heart's just always Christmas.
So yeah, Survivor is huge, and a lot of the time with the work I do, I need to get through people's survivors first to even be able to start tapping into the pleaser and the prover, and because it's that one that's running the show at the front.
I don't know if I should ask this question yet, but like, this is just what's coming into my head.
Yeah.
And it's because actually I'd seen an article that was really horrible actually last night, but it was basically, in a nutshell, somebody who was really badly abused that then went on to it wasn't quite murder, but it was, really hurt somebody else.
Yeah.
And that tends to be a pattern you see, and that just brought that into my head there, because I thought, does that quite often happen? I know it's trauma, but is it as a result of things like guarding yourself and protecting yourself, and it gets to a point that you're doing it so much that you don't let anyone in, and it lash out in violence?
Absolutely.
Like, that's just like, that's breaking cycles, isn't it? And healing. And
underneath all that is the anger and the hurt and the pain and the shame and the sadness.
And then though, and you'll see this working in the schools, when it's a young person, they just get branded from a young age as bad.
They're just bad.
They're so bad, yeah.
It is, and it's really hard actually when I do have to work with kids and they have that label of themselves because of what other people have said or did, that they think they're bad. And
so
I'm
that's like the saboteur?
They're not bad, yeah. That they then will just go in, or the rebel, that can come out as well, that they'll just go into, well, I'll just do the opposite of everything you're saying, I'll just be bad.
I've been told I'm bad my whole life.
Yeah, or the opposite, you'd then go into prover to prove, like, no, I'll show you, like, I can change, I'll be good. Even that terminology, like good and bad again, like,
and then proving to people that maybe perhaps disappoint them, and then there's a lot then that goes into all these different versions. Yeah. So how do you go about healing each one, or is it collectively? Is it?
So I think even people just starting to notice it first of all is important. Like, if you can have awareness around what part of you, there's another type of therapy. Internal family system, it's called IFS. Gabby Bernstein talks a lot about it. One of her latest books is about it. And that's these parts of yourself and healing them. And it's why inner child healing is so big right now, I think, because on a therapy level, not in a woo-woo sense like us going into past lives, on a therapy level, they will take you into your childhood because that's where most of the traumas or belief systems that you have are going to have started in your life. Therefore, a lot of people, it's why it's a big trend right now, are doing inner child healing.
And it's not the worst trend, I guess, because
it's not.
People are...
It really isn't.
And there is something so emotional, even for me, about
meeting
that first time you meet yourself as a child, your inner child who's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Because you always are that child.
I can say that every single client I've ever worked on, I'm not saying they've all shed tears over it, but you can feel the energy change as soon as I say to them, go and have a conversation with that younger self. Yes. Even my dad.
I actually can feel the emotion now because I remember
I can
going up to hug my inner child and just being like, oh my God.
And that's where you do realise. So
powerful.
I think it was last episode. I'm getting mixed up now with what we spoke about in this one, part 1 and part 2. When I say that, well, we've had a good, some people say I've not experienced trauma, I had a good childhood. Yes. If you take yourself in to meet your inner child and you feel that you need to go in and hug them and give them love or let them know it's going to be okay, or that's how you know that there is something there that needs to be healed, because otherwise you would not have that reaction. It would be like, oh, look at me. And that does happen. Jazz hands.
Oh, really?
People are like, oh,
look at me on the
they're
stage.
So smiley. Look at me. Like, yeah, she's so happy. She looks great. And I'm like, okay, yeah. What we feeling underneath that happiness?
Yeah.
Because
go over and take her off the stage.
Yeah. Sit her quietly down and see how she feels. There's always going to be something.
Yeah.
Something that we have suppressed or pretended to be okay when it's not. Do
you think a lot of people feel a bit of guilt around it for their own parents? Because that's, I think, what I feel is that, like I say, I had a fantastic childhood and, loved and big family and stuff. But there are things, and, that way, like, if I was to say them, I would never want to.
You don't want to hurt them.
Yeah. But it's just, it's things like we were talking about in the last episode, like, going out and having to work and stuff. And I know that that's actually one of my mum's biggest, she gets upset about it, regrets, she had to leave me young in nursery and, all of this. So, and I know she does get upset about it, but these little things do affect you. And I'm not saying I've not had a great life, but I feel like I need to keep proving it.
It's not to blame them either. That's a big thing. Like, we don't want to hurt other people's feelings. I find it a lot in sessions that I'm like, right, okay, let's have a conversation. Imagine you're having a conversation with your mum or your dad and no, but I love my mum and we're in a totally different place now. And I'm like, yep, we're not trying to blame them, but this is how little you feels by being put into nursery, by being left at gran. I was loved so much by my grandparents, but that little me still felt like I was being palmed off every single day at 6 o'clock in the morning and picked back up at 7 o'clock at night. Like, it's the version of you inside that's reacting to then things going on in your life. So say, like, that's obviously one of my big ones, is this not feeling wanted, for example, or not being thought of, right? So say Ryan doesn't do this, he's actually really good, but say he came in from the shops with something for everyone but didn't get me anything. Something that simple would then trigger that, oh, so I'm not important. He's not thought of me. I don't matter. He's brought something in,
and then you can imagine
for all of them.
The way that could then spiral into like an unnecessary argument. Absolutely. And people think, you're flying off the handle.
Yep.
But the reality is you actually do have deep rooted
feelings,
issues and fears and feelings. And you've got to get them sorted.
Yeah, that's how simple it can be. And then obviously there's huge traumatic experiences that people have been through in their lives.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go into that for any triggers, but the things will also be then triggered and played out in that exact same way by little things, but it links to the big.
One thing I can't stand about society is a word that's flung around a lot, and it's, you know, they're a psycho. She's an absolute psycho. And you hear that a lot about females.
Are angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that, when you look at maybe why people do certain things, or, you know, are angry at certain things, there are always reasons. And it was actually like you that made me see that.
Yeah.
Because it's even things like I one thing I do get really annoyed at is constantly repeating myself.
Yeah. Not being heard.
So that's what it comes down to, is not being heard.
Yeah.
I feel silenced.
Yeah.
But I know that's not the case. I'm not being told what you're saying is not important, but I'm like, I have explained this so many times, like, and you just end up, and then it's like, it's an unnecessary argument. There's tension in the house, but it's come from my feelings and fears of being silenced and not being heard.
Yeah. And generationally, that was a big one, because it was children should be seen and not heard.
My gran wrote a book called Seen and Not Heard. We've got it in the house. It's all about Scottish children.
Yeah. So that's where that's going to have come from. Like my granddad's not here anymore, obviously, my big protector over on the other side. He would be too busy sitting watching Antique Roadshow and Countdown and whatever else was on. I had to go and sit in the hall. Like, I wasn't allowed to be in the living room because I would have been making noise. So the hall in their house was my play area if I wasn't outside. That then it just got to a point where I was like, well, there's not really any point in talking or trying to speak or sharing anything, because
I've been silenced.
I don't want to, like, they don't want to hear what I've got to say. Do you know what I mean? That's the subconscious thoughts that have been there that I've only then found out through going into these versions of myself. As a child, I maybe did think that. I don't remember I don't remember thinking it. But then again, I've blocked a lot of my childhood off, which is hard to understand from a place of a therapist, because you automatically then think, oh, really bad things must have happened that you've blocked it out. But it was actually just that. It was all these little things had happened.
Of heart.
I've searched so much into my subconscious to try and find something big.
How do you do that, Tony? How do you search into your subconscious at meditation?
Just through going for therapy, meditation, healing, energy healings.
If somebody wanted to start, you know, with the healing kind of process, that's always, the inner child's always a good one to...
It's a good one to start, if especially by yourself in your own space. Journaling would help with that. If you could... I mean, there's loads of inner child meditations and all that out there now, actually. Like, when I was doing it, there wasn't a lot of that, but stick one of the meditations on and take yourself into that space, and then journal on it afterwards. Going for therapy, I know that there's a big stigma around it, not so much now, but it's definitely still something people don't want to do. It's definitely with
particular generations, though. I think still, you know, you say I'm a therapist or thing, it's like, oh, look at you, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Oh, therapy. Yeah. You don't need therapy, you're fine.
What have you got? What do you need to go and speak about? Like, what's happened to you that's that? I think everybody should have a counsellor, the same as everybody's got a GP.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if that's for your physical...
You've seen the state of the NHS.
Health, why have we not got it for your mental
By the way,
health?
that's actually probably a good one to mention just while I remember, is the Sam H. Nook.
Oh yeah, I've been telling everybody about this.
It's so good if you are struggling with your mental health. It's basically, and that's just what reminded me of it, talking about counsellors and things. We've got, like, that are trained... I don't want to get it wrong, but there are people that are trained, like, you know, counselling, therapy, psychologists that are all there all the time, and it's completely free. Now the thing is, they're trying to, like, break the stigma, but also take the pressure off of the NHS, so there is no waiting list.
Yeah.
You do not need to phone up for an appointment. It's just across from Citation in the Merchant City, and you literally can walk in. Just have a little Google of their opening hours. Yeah. They're open every day. You walk in. If you don't want to talk to someone straight away, there's a big kitchen table. You can just sit at, make yourself a cup of tea, and then when you're ready, you can even say just something really simple and then walk out, or you can go straight into it and they can put you onto a program, 6-8 week program, 12-week program, or just see you as and when. But it's completely free, non-judgmental, and it's for anybody at all. And I just think it's
age 10 and up, I think it is.
Yes, so children as well. That's an important one.
This is where I've been.
That's so good to hear you've been talking about
it. Even parents in the school, pupil support teachers, we're handing out information about it.
Good. I hope it's been busy. Actually,
I think it has.
That's good. I was in the hospital. Why I was in the hospital and when I can't. Oh, it was for migraines. When I was having the migraines, I went to the hospital, and I overheard a really upsetting conversation with a young girl who couldn't get mental health help. But I so wanted to tell her about the Nook, but you know that way, like I was on my own, and I didn't know. I didn't think it was appropriate or to walk over and say, I'm so sorry, I've just heard
your conversation. I know.
Intrusive and invasive, but that's when I was thinking
you could have been the messenger for her that day.
I know, and I actually have thought about it a lot since, but I was also just like, I cannot go up.
No.
Because I don't know. I then started thinking of all these scenarios to protect myself. Imagine I left the hospital and she was like, I'm going to go and get her. She was listening to me.
Yeah.
You know, and that's so bad, right? But that's just what I was thinking. But I just thought, I wish they had like leaflets or posters, because the doctor was saying to her, basically, you're going to have to phone up again and go on this waiting list. And I just so wanted to say to the doctor, excuse me, can you come over here? Like, I don't know. I don't know any circumstance, but I just want to tell you, please, can you tell her about it? But I felt that was nosy.
Yeah, no,
more people need to know about it.
And it's that fear of judgment that's coming in.
So that's what we were talking about, was people judging, getting therapy and counselling. You can do that completely anonymous.
Yeah,
and you don't need
it's a great service. I think it's going to be life-changing for so many people.
I think it's going to save lives. It's, pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So that's how we go on to basically
saying
everybody needs a therapist. Everybody start with child's inner child.
Yeah. And then that will then open up kind of your awareness. Awareness is the big thing. Like the more you start noticing your behaviours, your patterns, why you're doing things, you'll then be able to figure out, right, okay, so what am I doing right now? Why am I trying to prove myself to them? Oh, that's my prover. People pleaser. Like, this is going to hit for a lot of people.
Everybody.
Not being able to say no. That comes from that deep root of wanting to be liked, wanting to be seen, wanting to be loved enough. Like, that can go into so many different things. Not wanting to be rejected. So you will then do whatever you need to do. It could be fear of confrontation as well, that it's just like, yep, I'll just say yes, I'll just do this, I don't want to have any conflict. But that's not good either, because then you're saying no to yourself to say yes to other people.
I've done that so many times.
Yeah.
I think we all probably have.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Warrior, fighter, that's a massive one, especially what you were saying about anger, which probably led us on to that conversation. That suppressed anger, that volcano that is about to erupt. Males especially will be in that warrior fighter mode. I feel like that goes hand in hand with survivor, because it's like, I'll do what I need to do.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for you type thing, that energy.
And then that again can be labelled as anger issues, and it's all about, and I really do think there is a shift in the world. I do think there's a shift, but it's all about breaking it down bit by bit and understanding humans. Really is what it comes down to, which is easier said than done, because if you're in the heat of the moment and your other half or your friend or your colleague is, or you annoyed at something and you're seeing red or they're seeing red, and it's easier sometimes to just be like, you've got anger issues, go away. But in actual fact, breaking it down, what was that trigger, and actually understanding people a bit more, so that the inner child stuff's good, and then how do you go about starting to kind of heal the rest? Or, I mean, I know it's probably a year process, but over a lot of time. But what about, you know, when you start to lift that mask and you've got all these different versions of you?
So underneath those versions is just emotion. That's what we are all avoiding, feeling our feelings. And it's why these versions then come up. And the belief patterns, the thought patterns that we've then got that are attached to these emotions. So when you hear people talking about healing and healing wounds, that's the way I see it. We spoke about it before, as if this wound is inside of you and it's just this big empty, well, it's not empty, big dark space, right? A big open wound.
I hate that word so much. I actually get a pain. I hate it, like I'm sore.
That wound is just
Stop
emotion.
saying it.
I'm going to just
Stop
continue.
I hate it. It's actually making me feel sore. I'm in pain.
Right, so that's going into past life stuff
No,
straight
it's
away.
not.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, that's physical wounds you're being
Oh,
triggered.
don't, because I do get sympathy pains for people.
Yeah, that's what you're going into. But if we see that thing inside as just a big hollow space of emotions, it's filled with emotions that we have
inside out characters
suppressed, that have been oppressed inside of us. That's also other people could be.
Oh, right, okay.
Like society, COVID, that was a big oppression. The fear that was installed into people.
That was a depression, oppression.
Yeah.
Everything.
Other people can make you suppress things, like so like that. Little girls, like, don't shout like that. Like, that's not ladylike.
Stop. I know. The bossy is another one I hate when people say to little girls particularly.
Yeah,
because I
bossy.
think little girls still have, changing a bit now, but there is the stigma of, you know, like the boy will be the CEO and the girl will be the secretary.
Yeah.
So see when like people say, so bossy, I'm like that. Yes, keep it going. Keep that fire in her.
Yeah, they know what they want. They're confident. So that's shutting down that confidence.
But also on the opposite scale, and I actually have a wee Instagram draft saved, and it's probably by the time that this is gone out, I'll probably have posted it. But it's like, I've written like, yeah, you'll hear me swear in front of my son, but you will never hear me say. And I've written like, boys will be boys don't cry, don't cry. Just like all of those thoughts and feelings. It's the same with boys, like, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Because again, going right back to what I was talking about at the start, my grandpa would have been told that as a young boy.
Which is why he handled that the way that he did.
Man up.
Yeah.
I hate that phrase, because also should be women up, because let's be honest.
Yeah.
What we go through.
Yeah.
But
and like then girls, it's you're crazy, you're a psycho if you express anger.
Yeah, you're psycho, you're crazy. And
so it's okay for guys to feel angry and become the fighter, the warrior, and stand up for themselves and be strong. But for girls, you're a psycho, you're crazy. So then we suppress anger and become the good girl. Yeah. Which is another massive...
God, that's a huge trauma,
massive one.
Grow a set of balls. I'd rather not.
Aye, no thank you. So, yeah, underneath these versions, I feel like these parts of us are trying to protect us from feeling the emotion. So when you're in your healings, if you're in a healing with me and I'm trying to get you to the emotion, because that's always what we're doing, that's what needs to be cleared for you to be clearer. The emotion, suppressed emotion needs to be removed from your body. You need to let it go. But you can't get into that emotion while your survivor's stopping you from feeling it, while your prover's trying to avoid it by dealing with X, Y, and Z, while your victim is so much in pity and sadness instead of feeling the anger and the frustration that's also there.
Can I just ask though, victim, is that one that, like, we obviously don't want to touch on things for triggers, but is victim also... how am I trying to say it? I don't want to say like you used the word pity there, like is like victim sometimes. Yeah,
just say it.
Okay, so it can be like that, like you
that's more of your victim,
right? Okay,
so when we're speaking in human level about a victim, it's something where someone has been a victim of something. The archetypes is when you are stuck in your victim. So maybe when you feel like the world is against you, bad things always happen to me, I'm never going to get through this.
You can actually see it with people as well, can't you? People who are always
absolutely
the victim.
And people get offended by that. Like when you use that term victim or martyr, both get very offended by they too, actually. When it's like we need to acknowledge our victim. That part of us is the one who has been hurt. Like that's the one that was rejected when she didn't get picked for the PE team, or that was her feeling victimised then, or the one who has suffered horrible, horrible things in their lives. Like it doesn't matter what you're victim to. The problem with the victim archetype is they hold on to the story. So they hold on to what has happened to them rather than feeling what's came because of it. So they're stuck in the story. That's why it's, these things always happen to me. Nothing ever goes right for me. Why is the world against me? And the pity is there. Or people that are really in their victim will turn things about them quite a lot. So if you were here telling me that this horrible thing had just happened to you, and I'm like, oh yeah, but this happened to me and blah, 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 blah. So wanting the sympathy and the pity. But we need to acknowledge these parts and meet them with love. Like they're not bad. They're trying by seeing them. Like you've just said it. Basically all you want is to be seen and heard.
Yeah.
Or as a child, that's all you wanted. So all these parts of you just need to be, they don't want it, they do, but they're not conscious to know that. They need to be seen and heard and then loved. So the work I do is then that's when you're meeting these versions and giving them that love.
You recognising it a huge part.
Massive.
And can you recognise it in others? Like can you
absolutely.
See when you talk to people, when you talk to me, you'll be like that. She's a big victim.
There's our victim. There's our saboteur. There's there's this at play. I'm not saying that.
Nothing is safe when you're having a conversation with Tony. Much in the same way that if you have a conversation with me and you tell me an interesting story, 9 times out of 10 it lined up on my radio show. Names may be changed. 9 times out of 10 you're talking to Tony, she'll be like that.
She's dissecting you. Mentally dissecting
people
you.
Pleaser there.
Yeah. But I need to do that with myself as well. Yeah.
Does it make you hate people? Not like people?
No, because this is where I then go, like, nobody's bad. And there'll be heat with this, but this will trigger people. People are the way they are because of things that have happened to them. So like you're saying there, that child that's instantly being labelled as bad or disruptive, misbehaved, they're not. They're doing that because they've got really big feelings that they're not able to feel right now, or they're not being allowed to feel right now. They don't know how to process and deal with. So they're acting out. They are reacting to a situation. So it's the same in the schools. Like the amount of kids that, I'm meeting that teacher with what they're giving me. If they want respect, they've got to respect me. I'm not going to speak kindly to somebody who's shouting at me. I'm not going to speak kindly to somebody that's raising their voice. If they're giving me any tone or cheek, I'm going to give them that back.
Imagine you.
As an adult, like if I was here right now screaming at you when it wasn't you that was talking and interrupting me, it was the person next to you. Are you going to be kind back to me, or are you going to meet me with that anger?
Meet you with the anger and then sent out the class and labelled as bad.
Yeah.
And that's going to then keep happening and happening.
Every time.
And then it's just going to get gradually worse to the point that you're not going to get to the root of the problem and you're just labelled as a naughty kid.
And then you believe that. Yeah. These kids believe that.
Oh, he acts up, she acts up, she's disruptive.
Yeah. Even like I'll use Ayla as an example. Like I had a healing on myself with my practitioner a while ago, and it was, she was triggering me because she was too much. So Ayla being her confident, vibrant, chatty self was too much.
Too much what?
So we started the Pink Key project. Mm-hmm. Me and her. It was the first night, I had in my head how this was meant to go, and it was the Ayla show, which she won't listen to this anyway, but she's aware. So in my head, I'm sitting there going,
At least she's aware.
I could actually fucking kill her right now. I was making, she was like across from me, and we were in a circle. And I'm making eyes at her. I'm then making wee comments, but in a way that the other girls are just like, oh, it's mum and daughter, and that's funny. And that's like, I'm like, oh, guess who won't be coming back next week? And like trying to shut her up.
Yeah.
Like what should have been a 10-minute exercise took an hour and a half because Ayla kept deflecting the chat back to her and talking about just random stuff, not even like, honestly, now I can laugh about it, right? But this sent me into a huge healing, needing a healing, because I was like,
because of what you've created.
But then in my healing, practitioner was like, so what is this? And I'm like, it was just too much. Like everybody, I was worried that the kids were then going to go home to their parents, and I'm not going back. It's the first week. Some of them have been made to come because it's the parents that want them to come. Yeah. I'm not going back there. Like she just spent the time like arguing with her daughter, or her daughter thinks it's all about her. This is what was going through my head. The girls loved it.
And loved Ayla.
Every week they're like, I'm like, right, Ayla, it's not, they do like a sharing circle thing at the beginning. I'm like, let's leave Ayla till last, like, because otherwise we'll be here for an hour just talking about Ayla. And they're all like, no, I like Ayla time, it's story time with Ayla. And like, but my head was going, they're not going to come back. This is a failure, fear of failure. And then in the healing, I went into my own stuff and seen, she's my biggest trigger because she's me.
Yeah,
right?
she's so you.
She's
From
me.
everything though, like I don't know her like as well as I know you, but even just the way that she looks and her mannerisms, like from looks to personality, she's actually just you.
Everybody says it. So
like if you're ever unwell, she can sit here.
she would.
Love that.
Little me, right? And this is a good part as well. When you are reacting to something, it's never the adult you that's sitting there that's reacting. It's these versions. It's one of these versions in you that is being triggered and reacting. Because the adult you then goes, why the fuck did I just say that?
Absolutely.
Why did I just react that way? The logical side. So your conscious you is like, what the fuck is going on? It's the triggered version of you from whatever moment this happened. This root cause happened. So most of the time it's the child. So I grew up having to quieten down, not allowed to. I'm a Leo. I'm meant to be wanting to be on the stage and doing everything Ayla does.
Leo's such a nice sign.
I was the opposite. Like I hid away. I didn't want to be seen. But that actual light in me, it's why I'm doing what I do now. It's why I talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Like everything in me wants to be seen and heard. I'm meant to be shining my light to help people. But that little me, because she was silenced, she was told children are not meant to be seen and heard. There'll be loads of other things, the rejection, the not feeling worthy. So when I see Ayla then doing it, my words were, she's too much. It's too much. But she's not too much. That's her. Yeah. So by me then trying to silence her is shutting her down and putting those exact same beliefs and thoughts onto her that were put onto me.
Generational.
And I know this stuff and I'm still doing it.
It's good though that you can admit that and like talk about it and like, give real examples. People will totally relate to that.
So
probably it's a good lesson for parenting as well.
Absolutely.
If you can relate to that and then you think about how you maybe react to your kids or sometimes how you want to react or something you might say and then you go, I was literally told that as a child and that messed me up in the head. So.
And apparently they say that we're this like generation of parents is trying to reparent themselves while parenting children and parenting our parents.
Aye.
At the same time. So
that's true.
It's difficult.
People always make comments about gentle parenting as well. And I think they think it's like saying, don't slap that boy across the face. I love you. It's not like,
No.
well, that's not what I believe it to be. I believe gentle
I
parenting.
was going to say it is to some people.
Maybe. For me, it's like, again, like if I remember, like if I fell to get my knee and hurt myself and would cry, like one of my grans was very, very like nurturing and loving. Here's all the treats. Let's put on a TV show. And my other gran was like, that's absolutely ridiculous. That's nonsense. Up you get. Stop it. So just those two very contrasting, you know, styles of as grandparents, right? But for me, like my wee boy, if he has feelings, I just let him feel it, and then I will get down to his level and just ask him, like, even if it is 3 a.m. and he's screaming and I'm like, I need sleep. I'm like, darling, why are you upset? What is it? Yeah. And just really, and I feel like that's gentle as opposed to being like, shut up and go to your bed and shutting the door. Yeah. I don't agree with if you know he was physically hurting somebody, for me just to be like, it's all right, still sun shines out your body, love you. No, that's not okay.
It's balance. That's it. We're going too much into that side of it where it's trying to find, right, where is the...
I won't even get into it, but you'll see that in the schools, I bet.
Yeah,
parents just let them do everything.
Even see it myself. Like I'm very much sometimes not gentle parenting, and
that's
like why?
Okay.
Yeah, and again, no judgment on that. It's those parts of me are struggling with. I'm being triggered by whatever they're doing.
Yeah,
and I at least have the awareness that I can then go and apologise to them after it.
I actually don't love, or I never have really loved apologising, and I'm not sure why. That'll be something in me, and it's never do anything terrible, but you know, like if you fall out with somebody or maybe say well, not friends, I'm very thankful, touch wood, I've never actually had a fallout with friends, but say it's like partner or parents, you maybe say something and you think, why did I, like you were saying there, why did I say that? I'll just go back to like being normal. But with my son, even like yesterday we were going to a soft play and it was my own fault. I didn't put it in the sat nav, and my car didn't understand my accent, so it was trying to take me to a bar, and I took the wrong turning, and he was shouting, Mommy, I want my milk, it's falling, I want my milk, it's falling. And I'm trying to see this low sun, my windscreen wiper squishies needed topped up, and I'm like, oh my God, I was like, can you just see for a minute? Just shut up. Like, I'm really trying. Or be quiet. I don't think I said shut up. Be quiet just for a minute. I'm trying. And I'm like, I'm really stressed. I don't know where I'm going here. And then I pulled into a garden centre and I said, right, I'm going to get his milk. And I got him it and I gave my kiss. I was like, I'm really sorry. That the reason I acted like that is because Mummy's a wee bit stressed. Cause
and he's got no clue.
He was just like, give him milk and let me see Bing, who was
doesn't know what stress is, doesn't know.
Give him screen time in the car. But he was watching the telly. I felt so guilty, but I thought it's so much easier to say sorry to him, and I don't know if that is a new generation thing.
But it could also, that the not wanting to say sorry can be that like need to be right all the time, so then it's admitting you're wrong, which is the failure thing, and that can all go into that.
Goes into everything. Typical
but
Taurus.
The base of all of it is these emotions, and we need that. It's as simple as just feeling your emotions. That is, and maybe start
keep a wee journal, see what's
journaling. Go for therapy. Go for energy healings, like whatever works or whatever you want to try. It's trying all different things. To be honest, there's so many different things out there, which is a whole other episode we can do.
Totally.
On what you can do, but the healing is letting go of all these different parts of ourselves, making them feel safe enough that they're not needed anymore. We don't need our survivor to protect us. We don't need our warrior or fighter, so that we can get into their emotions, understand these belief patterns that we've got, feel the feelings, let these beliefs go or change the beliefs so that we can be us, so that I can get back to being the Tony that is like Ayla and too much that I shut down.
She's definitely here to show you, isn't she?
Picked up the pen for me, definitely.
Show you so many things.
Yeah,
it's so interesting. I'm feeling a wee card pull. What do you think? Yeah.
Do you want to pick one?
Oh,
since they're laid out like that.
One is jumping out at me. Ooh. It's the deer.
And guess what that is?
That means never run on a busy road in front of a car.
Who would run on a busy road in front of a car, do you think?
Somebody who...
What age of person would likely run on a road?
Child?
Oh,
Inner child?
Yeah.
Ah, let's leave this one to the expert, but that was a great analogy from me.
Yeah, so the deer is gentleness, self-love, innocence, which is what takes us into child. So exactly what we're talking about there. It's about going inward. Maybe not necessarily for everybody meeting your inner child, but being more gentle with yourself when you come up with all these things, when you hit these triggers, when you react to things, like you saying there, that guilt came over you, you being kind to yourself in that time, because you are just reacting to whatever the situation is because of what is in there. And then you then meeting yourself with like bashing yourself mentally is negativity. So then you're actually just filling yourself more with anger at yourself and taking it out on yourself, and you're a bad person, you're a horrible mum for just shouting at your child. That's not going to make you feel any better. So it's meeting yourself with that kind of loving kindness.
That's a really nice way to put it, actually. It's a nice way to think about it.
But still taking ownership.
Totally. Yeah.
And saying sorry.
That's me in another timeline.
Yeah. No, you done it.
I love that that's the card that I pulled.
Yeah.
That was a good, like, lengthy episode in 2 bits. So
yeah, I could go
if
into
you've
so
not heard
much
part
more.
1, listen to part 1. There are, about 12, 13. I think this is our 13th episode. Oh,
yeah. Oh,
lucky. I love the number
Yeah.
13. Unlucky for some, but lucky
Beliefs.
for me. I like it.
yeah.
So
same.
yeah, I think that's our 13th episode. So there are 13 now you can listen to and dive right into. If you want to get in touch, DMs are open. You can message us TikTok and Instagram at Tune to the Moon Pod. Make sure you stick the notifications on Spotify, YouTube.
Yeah.
And yeah, give us a follow, give us a big comment on there, and just join our little community. We will be back next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.